Alright guys, this is going to be the second video to my first one on the MD 2017. As I've already told you in the first video, I love the radio. I mean, it feels great in the hand. But it reminds me more of a Motorola. It's an awesome radio. Radio is, I just love it. The antenna that comes with the radio, that's a whole different story, because this antenna sucks. I put it on my analyzer, and yeah, it is resonant in the VHF and the UHF portion of the band, but it's not resonant where us amateurs use that portion of the band. You know, in the 2 meter band, it's not resonant. It's outside of it. In the 440 portion, it's outside of that. So it's, you know, it's, to me, it's junk. So I changed the antenna and put this is just a cheap Jetstream Focus JT524SMA. I put that antenna on it. It does do good. It's not a long antenna. It's short, and it's super flexible. I don't like an antenna that pokes me in the side all the time and my ribs, so I wanted something super flexible. I don't know what else to show you about the actual radio itself. A couple guys had asked to show them, you know, about programming or making a code plug, so I'll jump right into that and show you how to do that. We'll do it from start to finish. I'll show you the whole deal. First thing you're going to need to have on your computer is CPS 2017 version 1.6. Now with version 1.6, you can download the code plug from your MD380 and open it with the CPS 2017, and it'll convert it. So you can pull the code plug off your 380 and throw it right on your 2017 if you want to. Now this basic information, you can change your frequency ranges of A and B. General settings, let me talk about that just a little bit. The radio name is usually whatever you want to name your radio. I just use my call sign, but the radio ID is important. That has to be your DMR ID, and that goes for any code plug or, you know, anything. If you download somebody's code plug from the internet, make sure you put your DMR ID in there. If not, when you transmit, you're going to be transmitting somebody else's DMR ID and information. With that being said, all this stuff, I usually just leave it at stock. I don't put a programming or radio passwords in because I don't use them. The backlight, it says always on, but I usually set it to 15 seconds. And then the backlight will shut off. Other stuff here is pretty much self-explanatory. I mean, call hang time. Some stuff you just leave default. Most of this I've just left it default. The first thing that you're going to want to do is when you get any new DMR radio, when you read the radio, save the original code plug. For instance, if you should ever need it, you're going to want that. If something happens, you can always go back to the stock code plug. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to have to create a contact. You're going to have a contact before you can use it. So the first one, just click it and you can change the name. We'll go with Nationwide. It's a real popular talk group, and Nationwide, the call ID for Nationwide is 3100. Every talk group has its own call ID. Each one has a number, and you'll have to have that number in there. If not, it's not going to work. Like Nationwide is 3100, West Virginia is 3154, and Virginia, and so on. They all have their own unique call ID. Once you create your digital contact, the next thing you're going to do, you want to create a channel. Your channel name, you can name it, you know, Nationwide so you know what that channel is. Your frequency, you want to put in, you know, whatever the frequency is of your Openspot, or if you're using a repeater, you know, you'll put in the repeater's transmit and receive frequencies, of course, and, you know, so on. Admit criteria, don't leave it on always, because that allows you to key up on top of somebody else. You know, sometimes, you know, accidents happen, or, you know, the system goes crazy. Sometimes you don't hear anything, or, you know, always change it to channel free. That way, if there's no activity, the radio will let you key up, but if somebody's talking, it will not let you transmit till they finish talking. Your mode, change it to digital, of course. Digital, change it to the name, put in your frequencies, channel free. Over here, your contact name. Now you're going to get the contact we just created nationwide. Put that in there. Group list, I don't use on the 2017. You don't need it. For the Openspot, color code is 1, repeater slot 2, just like a repeater. In call, well, not exactly just like repeaters. Repeaters are, you know, some of them are different. So some of them are 1, some of them are 2, some of them are color code 2, some of them are color code 1, depending on the channel and the setup that the repeater owner has set up. In call criteria, click follow admit criteria. That way you want that channel to follow what you have set here, your admit criteria. Well, I told you about the keying up part. Other than that, it says analog stuff if you want to put in CTCSS, DCS codes for an analog machine. That's it. Basically, your TOT, your timeout, I usually move it up a little bit. Scan list, you can create a scan list if you want to. You can use scan list on repeaters, but on the Openspot will only transmit one talk group at a time, so a scan list, you know, won't do you any good. But on a repeater, you know, you can set up a scan list, and then all the channels, you can move them into that list and then scan if you want to. Okay, now we've created a channel. If you want to create another channel, just go to the bottom and hit add. Bam, see, another channel pops up. You hit add again, the other one comes up, and so forth. And then you can just rename your channels and just keep going through. Set you up another digital. That's what I do. I put all of my digital contacts in, all of my talk groups in at one time, everything. Then I go set up all my channels using all of them talk groups. Once you've done that, you've got to have your zone. And a zone is basically, your zone is like banks on a scanner. You remember some of the new scanners and the old scanners, they had banks. You can put, you know, 10 channels in each banks. That's what a zone is. A zone is just a place that you want to put all of your channels into. The good thing about the MD 2017 is we have 64 channels to a zone now. The MD 380 only had 16, which, you know, sucked, because you'd put 16 channels in and then you'd be out of space. You'd have to create another zone to put the rest of your channels in. So now we have 64 channels per zone, which is great. And so what you'll do is you'll come over here, you'll pick out your channel, and you'll highlight it, hit add, and it'll move that channel over to your zone. Zone up here, you can change the name to whatever you want to. If that's your Openspot, type in Openspot, and then move the channels that you create to this. This is the B band. This is A, this is B. On the 2017, the MD380 won't have this B band, but the 2017 does. I didn't put anything in B band for the simple fact is I did it in the beginning, and then I noticed if my Openspot is talking, then if my local repeater keys up in between the Openspot transmissions, it'll come on. So it created a mess, so I just didn't put anything in it. So once you've got your zone set up, you move your channels over into your zone. I mean, that's it. I mean, you're rocking and rolling, and you just keep doing that over and over. You get all your channels programmed in, get them all moved into your zone, then go to the top, hit program, and then write data to your radio. And it writes everything that you've programmed straight to your radio. You know, if you need help or something, just shoot me a message and I'll create a code plug for you, or I already have code plugs created for the MD380, the CX580, the 2017. So if you just can't get it, don't understand it, just send me a message and I'll email you a code plug and it'll get you started and get you going. You won't have to mess with nothing. But you know, it's always better if you learn, because everybody wants their specific code plug set up the way they want it set up. You know, they might want specific groups or specific, you know, local repeaters or, you know, whatever. The thing I like about the 2017 is it's VHF and UHF, and I can I have different zones set up. I can go in and select another zone. I have a zone called Zone 1, and it has all of my local, like, police and fire departments and, you know, rescues and all that stuff. So if I want to use my MD 2017 as a police scanner, I just go into that zone and listen to it. And you set up an analog channel just exactly like you do a digital channel. You know, except for on analog, you don't have to put in a contact. You don't put in any contacts. You just go in, channel information, create your channel, put in your frequencies, analog, if your repeater has tone and so forth. And, you know, your repeater frequencies, most repeaters have a 600 hertz offset. On admit criteria on analog, always, you don't have to wait for it don't have to be channel free on analog. And set up all your stuff. That's basically it. It's really not that hard. It seems super overwhelming and hard in the beginning, but once you do it a couple times, it's just, you know, like programming anything else. There is a lot of extra steps to, you know, programming a DMR radio versus something else. You know, like, you know, your local repeaters, or, you know, Fusion, or, you know, Wires X and all that good stuff. But I just use my DMR radio with my Openspot. I can go into the Openspot software and go to a Fusion machine using my DMR. I'll show you how to do that, because I've heard people say they don't know how to do that. So we'll just do that real quick. We'll X out of this. Ah, crap, no, we don't want to save changes. Alright, let's see here. Where's my Openspot? Openspot. Alright, you'll go into your connectors, and here where it says Homebrew MMDVM, you're going to change that to System Fusion FCS. Switch to selected. Okay, this warning will pop up. Do you want to change the modem? No, you don't. You want to leave the modem DMR. You don't want to change it to C4FM because you're not using a C4FM radio. So just hit ignore. Okay. Go down. Pick out your Fusion reflector. American Link. Here's all the reflectors. Pick out which one you want. America Link seems to have the most activity. It, you know, super busy. Wires X. Hit save. Now you're set to go. The next thing is you have to have, I'll show you this screen is hard to see, but you have to have, what am I doing? You have to have call channel 9 programmed in your radio, because you're not going to be using a talk group. Well, you are, but it has to be talk group 9. Yeah, I patched it up. Look at that. I hate this trackball. Talk Group 9 is what Talk Group 9 is when you create your code plug, you'll create a channel, and just like you do all the other ones, but in your digital contacts, you'll create another contact, and you'll put like Talk 9, and the call ID has to be 9. So anytime that you're on Fusion doing, through the Openspot, through DMR to Fusion, you have to be on Talk Group 9. And you'll, as long as you've got Talk Group 9 in, and, you've changed your connector to FCS, went down and selected wires, you're good to go. When I key up, I'm in the Fusion system. It's not really hard. A lot of guys get confused, and the first thing they do is they go over here and they change the modem. They'll go to modem and they'll change it to C4FM. You can't do that. You have to leave it on DMR hotspot, because you're not using a C4FM radio. You're using a DMR radio, but you're just changing the connector, the connection. You want to connect to FCS System Fusion. And it's just that simple. It's not that hard. I guess it's overwhelming in the beginning, but it's not that hard. But if you need any, if anybody has any questions, or you need any help with, the Openspot, or, making a code plug, or switching, or anything that you need, just drop me a message or something. My call sign at Yahoo, KG4VDZ, Kilo Germany 4, Victor Delta Zulu at yahoo.com, and I'll respond, or I'll send you a code plug, or just whatever you want. And, all that I ask you to do is subscribe, and, give me the thumbs up or something. It's, it doesn't cost you a thing other than a couple of clicks, and it enables me to keep making videos. I've got more videos I'm going to make. If somebody wants to see a video on a CS580, I've got it, MD 380. I just picked this up locally. This is a FRG 100. It's an HF receiver. It's extremely clean, as you can see. I love it. It's a sweet radio. So if you want to see a review on that, or I've got a FTDX 1200, or we've got a SB 1000 up there, or we got more HTs, or I'm getting ready to do a video on this MFJ analyzer, which I'm going to tell you, this little analyzer is just as sweet as it gets. This thing it's just awesome. And I'm going to do a video on it next, so hopefully I'll have it posted up this evening, show you some of the features of that. All of this stuff that you see, this is mine. I bought it. I paid for it. No company sent it to me for free to make a video on it. I haven't got that lucky yet. But yeah, if you've got something that you want me to do a review on, if I have it here, I'll do it. I mean, I've got a bunch. That's a FTM 100D. That's a new Yeasu 2 440 C4 FM Fusion radio. I've got a big Henry amp here in the floor, which is huge. It's ginormous, which it's my baby. I love my Henry. But yeah, that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for checking out my videos. I know they're not the best. I know the quality sucks. But then until I get, a little bit bigger, maybe I'll just buy a better camera. That would probably help a lot. But get your ham license. If you don't have a ham license, get on QRZ.com and study and take the test. Get your ticket, and hopefully we can see you on DMR or too long. Or if you're a shortwave listener, if if you got anything, any questions, just drop them down below. And that's it for now, guys. Have a good evening, and 7 threes from KG4 VDZ.